welcome to Live Your Freedom TV. I am so excited to interview and introduce today's amazing and talented guest, Liana Louzon, who is a world-renowned photographer and also a jewelry designer of Rock and Vibe jewelry design. And I can't wait to get into that with you today. You're a wife, you're a mama, you're an artiste, you're a soul sister. I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you, Liana.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I was reading through your websites, and I was just, like I said to you before we started, I was up really late because I just was getting lost in the vortex of all of your beautiful work. And then I went on the jewelry site and it was like midnight and said, oh my gosh, I gotta, all right, come on, go to bed. You have an interview early tomorrow morning. But I was reading through some of the things that you were writing, and it just really resonated for me with the work that I do with my clients in branding and helping them really access their truth and show up in their brands and businesses as their whole selves. And of course, you have a line on your site, say on your about page, talking about how your goal is to capture the whole person in your work. So I really want you to just kind of share with me your philosophy behind your work and what your goal is when you get on set with a client and you have the camera and you're going.
So I think when I talk about the whole person is, I mean, when you look at the pictures, like as an artist, pictures actually worth more than 1,000 words. You can move people to tears just by looking at the picture. It tells a whole story. So when you look at a picture of a person, I want to show them who that person is. So authenticity behind just the pixels. And a lot of times it takes a little while to bring that out and to have the person connect with the camera. And when they connect and when they show that energy, and by looking at the pictures, you can feel either motivated or inspired or whatever the message and who that person is. It's really, really cool. So that's kind of, with every picture, that's the ultimate goal, is to make it matter and to make it have a purpose.
And to tell the story, right? To really allow them to jump off the page or the screen.
Right.
And make that connection with the viewer. I love that. And it, so as a branding coach and as someone who really focuses around branding, it's so incredibly important that the photography piece is so vital to really illustrating and bringing your brand to life. So talk to me about, and because we have a lot of viewers here that are newer into their entrepreneurial journeys, just like the niche of the women that you photograph in your fitness photography, it's like you're on this journey and you're trying to capture yourself where you are right now, but you're anxious about what that's gonna translate into. And then the other part is like, oh my gosh, I really look like that. That's really me. Like, so just the psychology behind being the model. Could you give a little counseling, I guess would be the word for your.
Yeah, and you know what? It's really interesting because on set, you'll have models come in and have certain expectations. They have ideas that they want to portray and imitate.
Yes.
And that's when I'm just like, okay, well, this is a great idea. I love this lighting, but let's build it and make it your own. So a lot of the times people look what's trending and who's popular, and they're like, I want that image. But, I kind of steer them in the direction saying, create your own image. What do you stand for? What do you portray? What are your values? What are your goals? What is your message? And with that, we'll build on that. And I'll get them to think of things when they're in front of my lens. I'm like, so what do you want to tell with this image? Do you want to tell people to own it? Do you want them to feel like you can do this too? Or, to not wait any longer and go for it? Like, whatever you want to say with that image, let's build that. Let's create that. So it's almost like and then when we scroll through the images, they'll be like, well, I really like this one because it looks like Linda Messina or Lori Harder or something like that. I'm like, but look at this one. This one looks exactly like you. And then they'll be like, you know what, but this is, I don't like the way I look here. I don't like the way I look here. But I'm like, we have to, this is you.
Right.
And I'm really big at not photoshopping a lot.
Yeah, I love that. I was watching an interview and you talking about raw images. So tell me more about that.
That's so important because I feel, especially being a mom, I feel a weight of social responsibility on me. And I want to show people like that it's more authentic, it's more real, it's more rewarding to put the truth out there and to show people the reality instead of, photoshopping the skin, trimming in the love handles or whatever it is. Acceptance and knowing who you are and being authentic is what's important. So at the end of it's almost like on set, it's almost like a discovery session as well.
Yeah.
I'm discovering who the person is, and they're also kind of realizing like, you're right, like this is what I want to stand for. And maybe, maybe they had an idea of doing these more either sexy or risque images, and then they realized, but you know what, like that's not my brand. And you know what, this is my brand. And a lot of the times I'll talk before we come on set, I'm like, what is the final message? In 2 sentences, describe to me what you want people to get from the image. And then like it's almost like an artist, like you build that on set. You create that with the moods, with the light, with the fan. Of course, you're still creating it, but you're making it authentic. There's still, tricks to make it look this way and that way. So it's still a creation, but instead of creating perfection, you're creating authenticity.
I love it. There's so much. So I think it's truly about healing too, because you're allowing someone to really celebrate themselves and you're empowering them. So you hold the role as the artist and the photographer to also sort of be like an empowerment coach in a lot of ways, to build them up and reflect back and show them their beauty and say, look, look what's here and look how beautiful you are.
Right, for sure. And also kind of understand who, like, what they want to represent.
Right.
Because a lot of times you'll see in the media what's targeting and marketing us. It's a little bit skewed. It's not really, it's just a pretty image and the girl looks perfect and happy or whatever it is, but it's not, that kind of ends at that. There's no great purpose for that. So,
and it's actually almost unoriginal at this point in time.
Exactly, it's kind of boring, and it doesn't mean a lot to the person who represents it. So, a lot of the times when they get that image that is exactly who they are and who they stand for, they are so much more confident in representing themselves and putting it out there and being like, you know what, this is my message, and then the message becomes so much more powerful. Because if they're branding themselves as a brand, as a person, they have a message, right? The reason why they're putting themselves out there, they want people to see them. So, and then the message is that much more powerful.
Yes, I love that. And I love the idea of give me 2 sentences that captures, what you want to embody in this image and who you really want to be in your brand. And that is like beautiful simpatico between, that's exactly the work that I do with my clients and why it's so important to have photographers like yourself that understand that and can guide and coach clients to that place to really let go and really step into their power.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love that. So tell me a little bit about, and this is like a deep question, but your soul's purpose, right? And how, because you're a living, breathing example of how the work that you're doing in the world, the expansion, the growth, all the things that you're doing, all these roles, mom, wife, designer, artist, how has that allowed you to really step into being Liana and who you truly are?
You know what? I'm still discovering myself. This whole process has helped me more than anybody else. Picking up the camera and playing and figure out what I want to photograph and what fulfills me. And every day it's changing. Like I said, I have a 4-year-old daughter who's growing up. And it is very important for me to make sure that she can see any piece of my work. And I don't want to from her, and I don't want her to see a perfect photoshopped image that maybe makes the cover of like the most amazing magazine because it is a perfect image, but then for her to see and be like, but mommy, I don't look like that. Is that what I'm supposed, is this what pretty is? So to me, and as she's growing up, I'm evolving, right? And I think this has been the most exciting part for me is not even what I'm putting out there or how it's helping me become who I am and discover what I can do, what difference can I make, how can I help people, and how awesome it feels to really know who I am.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like it's like at the end of the day, what I'm going to be doing for 2 years from now may not be what I'm doing now. Right. And still I'm searching every day with every image, with every client, I'm discovering, and it's amazing, like this whole process. So, I mean, I can't really say like, well, this is what I do because it's always evolving.
Yeah, I love that. There's no finish line. This is a journey. And this is when you are truly doing your soul's work though, and you are honoring what's coming through and you're doing that work in the world and allowing yourself to get the messages and continue to just make decisions. Okay, well then this is the next thing I'm going to do. Then that's when all of the goodness is truly happening. And I see that, in what's happening in your life and in your brand. And I love that you're really sharing with the audience that it's not about knowing exactly, what it is you want to do every minute of the day. It's that we're always discovering and just unfurling into what our destiny is, as you said before we started recording. I love that. And I think the other piece that I'm just so inspired by as a mom of a little girl myself, is that the integrity piece, and that you are, walking your talk and really tuning in and staying aligned with the mother you want to be, this role model for your little girl, and helping her understand, how she's going to grow up in this world. That's beautiful.
That's important.
Yeah, it totally is. So, talk to me a little bit. I want to kind of actually, before we do that, I just want to give our viewers a glimpse, because it's enough to say, go to the website yourself, but I want to show them live and in color. And if you want to comment on any of what I show here, feel free to do that. But I just want to show some of your work, because I'm just enthralled with what you capture and the skill. I mean, hello. It's just beautiful. And you are published in Oxygen magazine. I mean, pretty much every fitness magazine, right?
Definitely fitness is my niche.
Right. Beautiful. But it's such a powerful thing for you to be doing this work and capturing people in very vulnerable ways, right? With the body. I mean, it definitely takes some courage for women to put themselves out there in this way. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Look at this work. And I hadn't met you, but I became acquainted with you back through my own fitness journey. When I'm just going to come back to you. Just when I used to be a fitness competitor myself, and you were shooting and doing all those things. And someday I'll shoot with you. I will absolutely do that. That'll be on my bucket list. So let's talk about what you're excited about right now, because I think this is a good opportunity to start kind of diving right into Rock and Vibe. I really want to hear the story behind how it came to be, how you made this thing happen, and what this brand really means in relation to who Liana is.
So Rock and Vibe is a jewelry line. Now, my background story is I was born and raised in Russia. And when I was 14 years old, we moved to Canada. My mom decided to make that choice. That's when the Russia and the USSR was falling apart, and she had an opportunity. So she had a job offer here. So we literally packed up the bags and we moved. I left everything behind,
Wow.
Came here. We didn't know language. We didn't have many friends. We left a lot of our childhood memories, everything that pictures, we came with just a suitcase. So,
Wow.
Kind of a fresh start. And two things happened at that time. It was difficult as a child because it was a little bit of a culture shock. So it was me and my sister. And one of the things that we used to do is we used to put jewelry together. That was a hobby I've always had as a little girl. So that was just our way of kind of fitting in, or my meditation practice, I guess, when I was little. Mm-hmm. And number two, by having my mom do that move, it showed me how anything is possible. Mm. You know what I mean? At a young age, I just went with the flow, but I've seen my mom take such risks and do such amazing things that I was like, well, you know what? That's normal. You want something, you do it. Mm. So I was raised with that mindset. So one of the things is jewelry has always been a part of my life, but I've always just done it as a hobby and as my downtime. So whenever I feel stressed or whatever, I always find myself crafting and beading and all that stuff. And everybody would always say I love this. Can you make me one? And of course, and then literally one day a light bulb went in my head and I was like, I'm going to start a jewelry line. I'm just going to share this. And it was almost like a journey that I was building up to, and it was going to happen at any point. And when the time was right, it just came out, and it honestly just flowed out of me effortlessly. The whole brand got developed, just from the packaging to what it stands for, to the actual designs. And I couldn't stop myself. It was the process took over. It was the most inspiring I've ever felt. And it just evolved into what Rock and Vibe is today. And really, it's almost I feel bad taking credit for it because it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So, and reflecting back, now that I'm in this moment and I look back, I'm like, you know what? This was meant to be. This was a long time coming. Some people are like, where did this come from? What? You're a photographer. Where is this from? But now like that I can see and kind of connect all the dots, like, you know how everything happens for a reason?
Yep.
I can see the stages of my life that were preparing me for this, and they were like leading me to this, and how it all just like unfolded. Like when the flower just kind of opens up, I feel Rocking Vibe did that. And there it was. Like, I was like, oh my goodness.
Here it is. And it's absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to screen share with that because the jewelry is gorgeous. And so do you handcraft this? Tell me how does it work behind the scenes?
Stores all over the world for the stones, and I make my own designs and the stories behind them. And
wow.
Yeah, so everything is kind of my creation. And then
look at the packaging, Liana. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I took a really long time. You know what? It was actually a year in the making before I launched.
Oh, I love it.
For a full year before, you know, it went live, because I wanted it to be exactly my vision. And, you know, at a time I didn't really know what the full vision was. And until it was, you know, fully developed and I felt like this is it, and then I press publish.
Yeah, but you know, I see it. And I mean, the branding is just spot on. It's absolutely gorgeous. Tell us a little bit of the story about like why Rock and Vibe, and what the collaboration with crystals and using that in the jewelry, and what that means to you.
So once again, the inspiration comes from two places. Obviously being a mother, I wanted to create something, a brand that allows, that kind of aids in the world, in creating the world where people follow their destiny. So I always tell my daughter, you know what, you can do anything. And I was like, how do I use my creativity like I do in photography and my passion for the jewelry to sort of bring that message across? And you can see that at the bottom, there's a little credo that I designed before anything, and I'll read it out. I let my heart beat bold and wild. I never settle, a fierce child. My spirit is unchained, soul set on its course. I'm a passionate, fearless force. That is the culture of the brand. That is what I want my daughter to grow up being and knowing, and that I want her to live that. And I want everybody else for her to grow up in a society where the whole society embraces that.
I love it.
Because with that mindset, like that's what the world needs.
Right.
So, and the whole rocks and crystals, I've always felt very grounded when my feet are on the ground. Like I always connected with nature, and to me, crystals amplify the energy. So I really am kind of like hippie in the inside, but I wanted it to be a modern line, modern conscious line. That's what I call Rocking Vibe. So when I was thinking about it, I was like, it's all about the vibration. It's what you put out there. The jewelry you wear so close to yourself, like
right.
And I think like you're wearing. Is it a tourmaline or a black?
It's moldavite.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you put it so close, it's so connected to you, and I'm just like, how cool is it if it means something, like your wedding band, or like a heirloom piece that your ancestors passed on to you. Right. And I think that's so important. So I wanted to create that connection of like that credo and the piece of jewelry. And what better way to do it when you're wearing a piece of the source with you?
Yes.
I wanted to work with natural crystals and stones, and that's where the rocks and vibrations came together in a name that sounded really modern. And when that name clicked, I went online. So Rocking Vibe, I went online and it was available on all like the website. What are the chances of the website, Twitter, the Instagram? Everything was available. I was like, you know what, this is it. I just knew, like as soon as like that name came. And the pyramid, like I'll actually have one sitting here.
Oh, beautiful.
That's kind of the packaging. It's a magnetic pyramid, so you peel it open just like this.
Oh, beautiful.
And then inside, you kind of peer into it, and it will be your...
I can't wait to order mine.
And that actually came from my grandma's teachings. She used to teach me how to manifest when I was a little girl. She used to buy me pyramids and make me write down my wishes, and we put them in there for them to manifest. Because pyramids are a really powerful geometrical force. Like in different cultures, like the Egyptians used to build it, and then like I say, people use it for healing. People use it for all sorts of things. It's extremely strong. It's just a really cool geometrical feature. So,
and then that can be, people can get their new box and they can use that as their wish pyramid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to there's intention behind everything in this company.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't want to tell them, oh, this is this for that. I just want them to connect with it.
Right.
And then see where it takes them.
Yeah.
Like that credo is very important. Everybody gets a magnet with a credo in it, because that's what the brand stands for. So
I love it. And it's just that attention to detail. It's conscious branding. It's all very deliberate in such a beautiful and artistic way. And I knew it from the first moment when I saw your work come out, and Kathy Savage and Lori Harder, our friends, were sharing it. And I was just so thrilled. And I wasn't surprised because I knew you were an artist. But I think it's beautiful. And I know for certain that a lot of the viewers here are going to be on Rock and Vibe as we are speaking, trying to pick out their pieces. So stay tuned for that.
well,
So this has been so great. I am just totally inspired by your courage and to just go forth and create in this such a way, and allowing the muse to just come through you and to guide you and lead you on your journey. What advice do you have for women, moms, maybe moms to be, entrepreneurs who are just kind of stuck and not sure how to move forward, but they have a really, a beautiful passion? What do you want to say to her?
if you have a passion, allow it to be free. Like that's what I found with myself. Like there's many things I could have done. I have a kinesiology degree. I can do so many other things that I can make money with, but it's a little scary to do what like your truest desire is, but do it. Like listen to that little voice inside. I always say sometimes, like if you're lost, if you don't know what to do, you kind of do. You just have to quiet down and really tap into what you truly want to do. If money didn't matter, if you had all the time in the world, if you had all the resources in the world, what would you do? And figure out how to do that.
Amen.
Yeah, figure it out. And like I said, it'll never be like, yes, I got here, I'm here now, this is all it is.
Right.
It'll never be that. It will always be a journey, and it'll always evolve. And that's the awesome part about it, is to just keep following your light. Like whatever it leads you, don't shut it. Don't put a layer over it and be like, but really this is more money, or this is already comfortable, I already have this job, or this makes so much sense in my head.
Right.
Follow the voice within. That has been every decision I made based on my intuition has been the best choice of my life. And the crazy thing is, for the moms, once you do become a mom, that little voice becomes so much louder.
Yes, it does.
It's like, with your kids, you just know, like intuitively, you'll just know one day not to go to the park. Yes. Or to like, the kid is crying and everyone's like, oh, she's fine. But if like, it's like it's almost like a scream, like that intuition. And that's when you learn to really listen to it and then apply that intuition to other things in your life. And, once I became a mom, I definitely had a lot more, I don't want to say a meaning in my life. It became, I had more purpose, not meaning.
Yes,
I had more purpose. Like this is, I have a reason to do this now, to follow this. Like, I want to bring this brand so my daughter can grow up in the culture where, she's encouraged to fulfill whatever she wants and all of that, both in photography and in Rocking Vibe and everything I do.
Yeah, the children, they become a permission slip in a lot of ways for you to just really go for what that purpose is. And I couldn't agree with you more that the intuition level, the vibration, all that just goes up to like a whole new space that you could never, had before. And for those that are not,
everybody has it.
Yeah. And yes, exactly. And so it's just about detaching from the achievement systems and things that you subscribe to in your life or been taught or whatever, and getting in touch with what yours is, what your truth is, and walking down that path courageously and realizing that you're never going to feel ready. It's never going to be perfect. You're always going to feel like a little bit of a hot mess. But as long as you are in joy and leading with love and really allowing your passion to guide you, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's for certain.
Beautiful. So we have a special little surprise for our viewers that we're going to be doing a Rock and Vibe giveaway, which I'm so excited about. And the way that it's going to work, and I'm going to have Liana explain the story of how you're going to enter to win. But what you need to do is where this interview is posted on my Facebook page, and don't worry, the link's going to be everywhere to the post to make it very simple for you guys. You have to tell us what we need them to do.
So it's very simple. I don't want it to make it a big homework assignment, but I want you to tap into that moment when you definitely did something, that you listened to your intuition, that was an important moment to reflect on, that got you to the next step or where you want to be. Mm-hmm. So just in the comments, it can be like a 2-sentence or 3-sentence, whatever it is, telling us what it is that you're, the proud moment, your courageous moment, your rocking vibe moment when you stepped out of that comfort zone. And just share that, because you know what, another thing I found, sharing matters. Yeah. When you tell somebody, and it just may be exactly what somebody else needs to hear at that point, well, because it's contagious. Yes. Being forward and taking chances is courageous, because as soon as somebody sees somebody, taking control of their own destiny and doing what they desire and going towards their goals, it sends a rippling effect. Yes. So by sharing your story, you're actually going to be, letting others follow in suit, and that's kind of the whole purpose of this. So share your moment in the comment section, and then we'll randomly pick a winner. And from then on, I'll contact the winner, and you get to pick any piece online. And we'll see.
Oh my goodness. So share your rock and vibe moment. This is so awesome, Liana. Thank you so much. That is just beyond exciting. And I know how special that piece is going to be to the winner. And I'm excited to do some shopping myself after we wrap this interview. Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us today and telling us.
Thank you so much for allowing me to talk, and just honestly, this is amazing. I love kind of telling people who I am and why I'm doing this, and
by you doing this interview was so powerful. I know that there are women watching this right now going, okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to start. And maybe for her, it's a jewelry business. Maybe she's a photographer. Maybe she wants to do some paintings. Doesn't matter. Maybe she wants to walk away from her 6-figure corporate job to go start her side business and live in the woods. It doesn't matter. It's whatever the heart is calling for. And you are a role model. So thank you, Liana, for just sharing your truth with us today. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, Mitch. I always like to show my little heart-shaped rock here for you. I collect heart-shaped rocks. I live on the seacoast here in New England, and I find this is a fake one, but I have lots of real ones. And I send them to my clients, and you will be getting one as well. So thank you, Liana.
So virtual hugs.
Virtual hugs, yes. And everybody, you can find Liana at rockandvibe.com and lianalouzon.com.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.